Hey friends, welcome back to Crafter Support. Today is video 1 of our 5-day maker videos, and what that means is every day this week on top of my regular videos, I'm going to be making individual videos for you guys to watch to learn how to use your Cricut. I was going to put them all in one video, but then 1, it was going to be a super long video, and 2, I didn't want to confuse you with the differences between all the different materials. So today's video, we're going to be making this super cute little can cozy with a little seahorse on and some seaweed. And basically this is going to be our iron-on demonstration. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through Design Space, explain absolutely everything step by step, how to use iron-on and how to use the heat guide and make this really cute little can koozie. So make sure you guys have something tasty to drink, maybe a little snack, a pen and paper, and let's get started. So the very first thing we want to do whenever we get into Design Space is pick the correct machine that you're working with. So I'm going to come up here, scroll down, and we're going to use our Cricut Joy. So that's what you're going to click on. It has all of the machines that they offer here. So if you're working with your Cricut Joy, this is where you want to pick the machine you're working with. This is going to be a huge difference whenever you're designing, because say you were doing a print and cut and you had it set for the Cricut Joy, well, it's not compatible with print and cut. So when you're trying to design something on there, it's going to keep giving you an error, and you're not going to be able to, you're going to be like, why is it doing this? I know that I can, print and cut. You just have to make sure that you have the correct machine selected. So that's the first thing I like to do, because I have different machines, is that I pick the machine that I'm working with. All right, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about the address. Okay, so when we go into Cricut Design and we're looking for images, there's so many images that pop up. So I want to do a seahorse. So I'm going to type in here a seahorse, and a bunch of images are going to come up. Well, I know that each image has an address, so I know that I can find the image I want quicker by using the address to take me to that image. So the one I'm going to be using, it starts with a hashtag every time you have an address for your images. And we'll talk about where to find that information at here in a minute. But what you're going to do is you're going to do a hashtag. And if you want to make the same image as I'm doing, you can put in M5059F73F. And it will pull up the exact image that I want. So this is a cut image. So right here, it's going to show you that it's a cut image. So we know that this can be turned into a decal. This can be turned into what we're using it is for the iron-on. It can be used to make stickers. It can be used for all sorts of things. And how you find the information on it is by clicking on it, and it will tell you the project information, who designed it, how many followers she has, likes, all that. And then there's like a ton of different designs that this particular designer has. So I like to check out all different ones. And I spelled that wrong, right? Yes. Reverse my S, my E. And then we're going to search it. And so this Scissor Creative is the one who created this image. So here's the image again that we pulled up, and when we click on it, it's going to show us right here at the top that number that we just typed in, right? So it tells us who designed it, the address to find it at. So if you want to make a list, like usually when I do a design, I'll write down the address, that's what I call this. And I can easily come back and pull that image up or share that image with you guys. Instead of saving it over and over and over again when I'm doing a video, I just pull up the address. So when I want to share something with you guys, in the drop box below, down below this video, it will have this particular address for you to go in and find the exact image that I'm using. Okay, so now that we have the image, it gives you like, oh, here's what it'll look like on a onesie and a hat and a pillow. So it gives you great information. Here's for a bag. Isn't that cute? Like, and each one is just a different size. Now we're going to add it to the canvas just simply by clicking Add to Canvas. Then we're going to click View because we want to see it in our canvas, and there it is. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to look to see how big we need it. Well, right here, if you come up here, there's a little red exclamation point. And when you see something on that side that's like red or a triangle or anything like that, that means there's something wrong with it. It's not supported by your Joy, okay? So at this point, the only reason that it's not showing up, or why that's showing up, is because the image is too large. It's saying you can't do this image on your Cricut Joy. That's why it's so important to pick the proper machine. So we know we have to make it smaller, but we need it smaller anyways to fit on our can koozie. So I measured my can koozie, and I know my design needs to be 3 inches high. That's as big as I can get it. So you can change the size by coming up to the corners here, and why it's turning, I don't know. There we go. And pulling in and out. There's a glitch in the system. Okay, and that will make it bigger or smaller. So let me show you that again, because there was a little bit of a lag. So you can pull it in, you can pull it out just by using your mouse. So I know that I need it to be 3 inches high. So I'm going to come up here. You can see there's a lock right here. This is to control the aspect ratio. And all that means is that whenever you change one of the sides, one of the width or the height, it's not going to distort the picture. Let me show you what that means. If I unlock this and I decide to make this like 9 inches high, okay, 9 inches, and I hit enter, look how it's distorted. Like it stretched it out, it thinned it out. I don't want that. So I'm going to undo. Right up here is our undo button. I'm going to undo that, and I'm going to re-lock this image. So I'm going to click on it. I'm going to lock the image, or yeah, lock it back up because it was unlocked. And then I'm going to go through and I'm going to make this 3. So with the aspect ratio, it's going to make it so that it looks proper. So it's not all stretched out. It's not squished. It looks right. So the design is going to be 3 inches high by 2.562 inches wide. That's perfect. It's going to work. So the next thing we want to do is we want to say, okay, the image looks great. And I'm just going to pull it over here for you guys to see it. Now we want to go up to make it, because it's that simple, that quick. When you use an image off of Design Space, it's ready to go. So that's why I highly recommend, and it was free because I'm an Access member. So if you're an Access member, you can make beautiful projects absolutely free without a lot of design and information that might be hard to start off with, is what I'm saying. It makes it very simple for you. So we're just going to click make it. It's going to ask to save the project. We're going to click save. We're going to just call it Seahorse. Hit enter. And now the project is saved, and it's going to bring us to a new screen. On this screen, it's just going to assume that we're using the map, but we're not today. We're going to be using Smart Material. So all you have to do is come right down here and click where it says Material Load Type, and I'm going to click Without a Mat. It's immediately going to adjust for me, and it's going to tell me that my material size needs to be, right here it says 4.75 inches high. So we have that with our vinyl. And the next thing we're going to do, it says your material size should be 5.5 by 4.75 inches. And we're using iron-on, so we have to mirror the image. And what mirroring does, if you watch the seahorse on the screen, I'm going to click mirror, and it's going to flip it. That's all you have to do. That mirrors your image. So it doesn't really matter when it's just a design that doesn't have to be facing a certain way. But anytime you do letters, numbers, anything like that, you have to mirror the image, or they'll be backwards when you try to press them. And then they're ruined. And we don't want to do that. So now we're going to click continue. And now it's looking at my machine to get set up. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go to my Joy, and we're going to get it set up and ready to go. At this point, you're just going to have to pick the material that you're using. And let me go to Browse All, and we're going to be using Smart Iron-On Glitter. So I'm going to click on that, click Done, and it will give you the option. It'll remind you, make sure your mirror is turned on because you're using iron-on, which is shiny side down. I'll show you here in a minute. And your pressure option is, you can default it, you can use more or less. I find that Cricut settings are pretty accurate with their products, and this is going to be great for default. It will show you that you need your fine point blade loaded and you need your material into your machine. And then once we go to the machine and we start there, it'll tell us to click go. So I'm going to leave the laptop now and we're going to head over to our machine and we're going to create this project. Okay, so now we're just going to open our machine up. We're going to get our smart material. This is smart iron-on. I'm going to have to cut this open. And this is what it'll look like in the store. It just says it's marked Cricut Joy. It'll say smart iron-on. And it depends on, I got most of mine at Hobby Lobby on clearance. That's when I really buy my smart material, because to me that's the best price option I can get, unless I can buy it off of Cricut.com when they have a sale. That's usually when I shop Cricut.com. So you'll just pull it out. And remember how they said about shiny side down. So many people have wasted material for this. This is the shiny side. So the side that shows your material of how it's going to look on the project, that's your good side. That's your shiny side. The dull side is where the heat activated stickiness is. So right now this is smooth as can be. You don't know that it's sticky, but once you heat it, add the heat and pressure, it's going to stick to the material. So when you're using smart material, you need the shiny side down, just like if you had a mat, and you just feed it into your machine. And your Cricut Joy is going to pull everything in and do everything for you. So next it's asking me on my laptop, it says, am I ready? And click go. So now we're going to click go. And now it's going to cut all of the design for, it's going to cut the design for me. And this is what we're going to be putting it on, is this black can koozie. The other things that you could have ready and be getting ready while this is cutting is a heat press. And I'm going to be using my Cricut mini press. And this thing is amazing if you are doing small projects, wood projects, especially things like this. It works perfectly. And I'm going to get that heated up while this cuts. And we're going to get ready to press. So I'm going to let this cut and then we'll be ready. Okay, now that it's all done, we're going to click unload. Because if you see, there's no buttons on your Cricut Joy. Everything is done via Wi-Fi. So that kicks it out, and we are ready to close up our machine and get our heat press ready to go. So now we're going to go into our heat guide, and how we're going to do that is we're going to come up here to home, and then if you look on the left-hand side, there's a few options. You have Discover, My Stuff, Cricut Learn. You have your heat guide right here. So you're going to click on that. And then it's going to ask you some questions. It's going to want to know something. So it's asking you what machine you're using. So it's going to ask you, what machine are you using? We are using our Cricut Easy Press Mini. It's asking you what material you're using. So we're going to say Smart Iron-On Glitter. And then it's going to say, what are you putting it on? So this is like a polyester. So I'm going to click a polyester. And then as you scroll down, you're going to click apply. So when you apply this, it's going to tell you everything you need to know for your machine. So it tells me to put it on medium heat. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to click 2 for the medium heat, which it was already it was well heated up for that. So the heat is ready, and it's going to say, it says constant movement with firm pressure. Flip and press for 15 seconds. Slowly remove liner when cold to touch. So we're going to press it first for 25 seconds. And then we're going to flip it over and we're going to press it for 15 seconds. I'm going to be honest, this really isn't necessary since I'm doing a can koozie. If I was doing a t-shirt or a pillowcase or something very thin, I would press the additional 15 seconds. But because it's the can koozie, I'm only going to press it for 25 seconds. And I know this because I've done these before. The other thing is it says to preheat your material for 5 seconds before starting. So now that we know it's 25 seconds at medium heat, 5-second preset, it walks you through everything. Okay, so if you need to read all of that, you can, but I just needed to know the preheat and the medium setting, 25 seconds firm pressure with constant movement. So now that I have that, I'm good. I don't need to do anything else. I can just begin weeding the project and then pressing. And what weeding is, we talked a bit about this before, but what weeding is just removing any of the material that you don't need in order to press your, to get the right spots of your design out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim away, which it might be hard for you guys to see the design, but I can see it just fine with the lighting. So you may need to have like a brighter light. I have a light pad I can use, but the best option is to start in a corner and pull up. And what that does is you're weeding out, just like it says, you're getting rid of all the material, just like a garden. You're getting rid of everything you don't need. And you just peel it up. And you can see like all the pieces that need to be pulled out. And it's a little bit easier when you're doing it when you have your head over it, if that makes sense. Like my head is not over it because it would be in the camera, but it is a there. So sometimes you have to like kind of wiggle the vinyl a little bit. But here's that piece. Now there's a bunch of little pieces inside that we need to peel out. And that's what I'm going to do right here. So I'm just going to peel that out. And then there's, I kind of think I was supposed to leave that there. I was supposed to leave that there, but that's okay. We can fix that. Let me pull this out. So you can always fix, or not always, you can usually fix little mistakes like that, like I just made, which actually, no, I don't need that in there. You could keep that in there. It was just a piece of seaweed and I could have left that in there, but I accidentally pulled it off. But we can re-put it back on. I mean, we can do surgery here. I am like a doctor when it comes to fixing vinyl and putting things back together. But I've been doing it for a long time, so I'm sure you guys will get to that point too. The more you do this, the better you get at it. It's like anything else. The more you practice something, the better you get. The quicker you get, the more confident you get. You get all the gets, right? So here I'm just peeling out all of the little pieces. Sometimes you can just use your fingernails to get the really tiny pieces. But I know there's another piece in here. And another thing to do if you're not sure of the design, like I should have checked before I peeled that piece out, but if you're not sure of the design, you can always go back and look on your computer to see what piece needs to come out and what pieces stay. So I'm actually going to scroll down here to back to my Cricut design space and look at the design again. Yeah, so that one little piece stayed, and then I just have to pull this little piece out and we're good. So let's pull this out. And that makes a little curlicue. And then we can put this back into place if we decided to. I'm actually going to, because I want you guys to see and see how you can fix things if they get messed up. So this piece needs to tilt a little bit more. So like if you make a mistake, be like, guess what? She's been doing it for years and she made a mistake. So I could edit this out, but I don't really want to. I want you guys to see like how you can fix your mistakes, and that making mistakes is inevitable, that it's going to happen. All right. So now that's all ready to go. Like it's weeded. The next thing you want to do is get all of your extra little weedy pieces out of the way, because you don't want them to get accidentally heated onto your machine, onto your material. So the next thing you're going to need is a pressing mat. You do not have to use Cricut brand. Actually, this is not a Cricut brand. This is a Real Like mat. I prefer the Real Like mat with something that's more padded. The Cricut mat, I think you get a better press when you do thinner projects, like t-shirts and stuff, because this kind of has like a bubbly inside, and when you press like a shirt or something on this one, in my opinion, you can see what's underneath here. Like it, when you press it, you know, it's a thing. I don't know. But anyways, so I do use all different mats. And here I'm just going to line this up to where it looks good to me. And remember, so now you're putting the sticky side. So now this is sticky, the piece that you weeded, and you're going to put it flat down onto your design, or onto your material, wherever you want it at. So I like that right there. Kind of like that. I like it there. And now remember, oh, don't forget, we're going to preheat this for 5 seconds, okay? Once you preheat it, know where you want to put it, because this preheat can cause it to be hot enough to pull your material off of your design, before you want it to be in place, if that makes sense. So let's lay this down where we want it. So before we commit, make sure it's where we want it to be because of it being hot. Okay, so I'm good with that. Now we need to press this for 25 seconds with like firm pressure and constant movement. So I'm just going to keep pressing. And this is Cricut Smart material, so it says once it's pressed, they want you to let it cool completely before you peel it up. So this is about 25 seconds. I'm going to finish it like that. I want to make sure all of my edges are down. And then we're going to just let it cool. So the thing about Smart material is it has a thicker backing. And I kind of feel like it needs a little bit more cool time than the regular vinyl, just because the heat transfer vinyl, because I feel like it holds the heat more. Now we can cool this off a lot quicker just by moving our mat and having a cool place to lay it on, and like it will suck the heat out. So it'll make it cooler quicker. My glass mat pulls it out really quickly, pulls the heat out. So let's see. Oh, okay. It's cool to touch now. So now I like to pull at an angle just to make sure all of my pieces are down. And this is super sticky still, so be careful. Or what I have done and what I've taught people is once you have your design off, all of the scrap pieces, like these little tiny pieces that you had, and you like sometimes they can be there can be so many of them, and you want to get them picked up easier. I just use the back of this to clean up the little pieces that are left behind, and then I'm sure I got all of them, and then I can just throw it away. So that's an option too. But look, so this would be our first design that we made in a little can koozie. And the other thing is we could flip it over and put a design on the back as well, minus the little puppy hair. So we could put a design on the back as well if we liked. But wasn't that easy? So whenever you're using a pre-made design, this is again why I stress getting that free month with Cricut Access and using it as much as you can, and then decide if it's something that you will like. I love it because it gives you projects like this that can be done super quick. All I used was a small piece of material or vinyl and a can koozie, and this could be a really cute gift. Like, you could put a little can of soda in here, you could put a little tag on it, you could have them set up at a party, everybody has their own can koozie, you could put their names on the back, you could do so many different things. So this is what I'm saying, make projects when you're beginning that are simple and quick, so you have something to be like, look what I made. I did an amazing job on this, because I'm sure you will. So if you guys made this design, please share it with me on our Facebook group. I would love to see what you put it on, whether you put it on a can koozie, whether you make it bigger and put it on a t-shirt. You can use your Cricut Joy to make t-shirts. I know some people were confused by that, thinking that it was only for small projects. You can make large designs on your Cricut Joy, and I had a video up over Christmas showing you how to do that. I will link it down below. They're actually really simple to do. So yeah. All right, guys. So again, we're going to have 5 videos up this week just on Cricut alone, plus my additional videos, because I didn't want to confuse you guys doing heat transfer vinyl / iron-on and regular vinyl and faux leather and paper all in one video. So this video for today is on our iron-on / heat transfer vinyl, and tomorrow's video is going to be on another project. So definitely come check it out. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will talk to you tomorrow. 2 videos tomorrow, so make sure you tune in. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.